Konnichiwa, minasan. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to round 12 of the 2021 GP4 F2 Championship. I am your commentator, Robert Ionescu, your lead commentator, and we are here in Shizuoka Prefecture in Oyama, Japan, at the Fuji Speedway for the second standalone race, the second voted standalone race, I should have said. And alongside me is Joseph Willows. So hello there, Joe. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Obviously, I commentated earlier on for the Formula E race here at Fuji, but now I'm here to do some Formula 2 commentary, and I'm looking forward to it. I've heard it's a different version to the one that FE used, so hopefully we don't have any issues with that bus-stop chicane.
Yeah, I personally would certainly hope we don't have any issues given what happened in that Formula E race. But yeah, with Fuji, we just had the Formula E qualifying and race, and we're gonna get some more Japanese action here as the Formula 2 championship is nearing crunch time. And if you missed what happened last time out in Malaysia, it was Jafari Blackwood who took his first ever victory, and like that, he moved himself up to further the championship and down just 16 points down on Dalir Samaroskan. So we have a championship fight on our hands, I think. What do you think, Joe?
I think we do indeed. I mean, obviously, Oskin pulled away after Dijon. He got a 29-point gap, but then obviously in the last race, he failed to score points. I think he was involved in that weird crash that happened at Turn 4, which involved which he had a mechanical failure for and caused the concertina effect. And as a result, Victor Johannes Martins, his own teammate, took advantage, as did Jafari Blackwood, who finally got his
You were
first.
thinking of Victor Martins there for a second, hey? But nevertheless, yeah, Jonatas Martins is on a roll. He finished second twice in a row. So let's see if we can carry on that momentum into Round of the Rising Sun. But that's enough of us talking. It's time to take a look at the weather for our qualifying session. It's going to be bone dry, a little bit cloudy, but no biggie. Let's get this show on the road.
Yeah, indeed. Now, of course, going into this, High Tech do have a slim chance of winning the team's title this week. However, they will need quite a lot of luck because they are 58 points ahead. And, of course, they need to be, given that the maximum that a team can achieve per weekend is, of course, 49 points, I think. I had to think there for a moment. Yeah, 49 points. It's going to be a bit of an ask for them to try and win it in this particular race, I think.
I think they can take their time on that. It's very clear High Tech are the favorites. It's only their second season too, so quite a lot of progress for the British team. Nevertheless, time to get qualifying started. And who's going to take pole here at Fuji? I wonder. We did race here back when it was known as GP2, of course. And last time out, Snezana Radivojevic took what ended up being her last ever victory in her penultimate race. If I'm not mistaken, her teammate Laura Chung finished second back then. It was Rapax 1-2.
Yes, and if I remember correctly, Radivojevic didn't take part in the remaining race at Interlagos. That was when we saw Enis Parachki make his debut there, which
Oh yeah, that's right.
I think it went all right for him in GP2 afterwards. I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely right. I forgot that Snez actually didn't do the last race. This was her final race, and there was a victory. So ending it in style. But now let's focus on the drivers we got right now. Juan Nguyen in the garage and waiting to go out. Will be the first one out on track. It looks like it'll be a home favorite. Hento Sinonome is out on track in front of his adoring fans here in Oyama, and I think he is extremely delighted to be racing here.
I think he is indeed. I think from the reaction he gave last week, I think he's definitely looking forward to racing in front of his home fans. And why wouldn't he? He is currently on form at the moment in the last few races. Been getting a solid amount of points and been slowly climbing up the championship after what has been a very tricky season for the Japanese driver.
Well, he's had 3 points finishes in a row, and those were all good points finishes. He finished 6th in Monza, and then 5th in Dijon, and he got 5th once again in Malaysia. So let's see if he can carry on that momentum. Obviously, he's not challenging for the championship, but if he can score a good haul of points, that can definitely help him. And as we were talking about him, he's just about ready to get his first flying lap underway. So I will take you through it once it gets started down the kilometer-long. I think it's longer than a kilometer-long straight, and it is a very, very long straight. So then, here we go. Out of the last corner goes Hento Sinonoma out of Panasonic corner. This is a 2007 version of Fuji, let's not forget, but here we go. Here goes Hento, and this is the first lap of qualifying. It's a long round down the front straight. The main overtaking opportunity, of course, straight line speed is crucial here, as in towards turn 1, hard braking zone at Daiichi, which means the first, I believe. For the flat kink of turn 2, in towards turn 3, Coca-Cola corner, very difficult left-hander, high speed. He gets spot on, and he does. Almost taking a little bit of curb there on entry. Through turn 4 in towards 100R, the long swooping right-hander, and then into the hairpin, commonly called hairpin. 34.6 in the first sector for Tsunome as he goes in towards turn 8, the flat-out right-hand kink, and up next is 300R. And then finally, afterwards, we've got the Dunlop corner, the bus stop chicane as Joe refers to it. We go into the chicane, taking a little bit of curb, almost dipping a wheel into the grass there. In towards turn 13 we go here with Tsunome, and up next is the double left-hander 14 and 15, which is the Nets corner. Very slow here but on exit he's got it good, 54.0 in the middle sector, and Panasonic corner is all that remains. Get a good exit from it, and that is the lap. Just keep your foot flat to the floor, and you'll finish the lap at Fuji. But yeah, so we will set the benchmarker time for everybody to beat. And what is that benchmarker time going to be here in Japan? It is a 1 minute 20.4.
Yep, as Farina crosses the line, and he's 8 tenths off already. Blake Moore across the line goes into second. Of course, very happy about his result last time out at Sepang. 1 second off for Naguin. P3 for Proxy, who's been struggling recently. Martins is in 5th. Daniel in 2nd. A good first lap for him. Arnold crosses the line.
He goes on to personal pole.
Dennis Graff across the line he goes into 9th. Bence Valdinger looking for redemption after a tricky previous race. He goes top by 4 tenths of a second, breaks into the 1 minute 19s. Curtis goes 7th. Quintino goes into 2nd. So far, Uni Virtuosi 1-2. Henson goes to 10th after a great race at Sepang last time out. Crest goes into 10th. Suto goes into 3rd. Here comes Sama Oskin. And he goes
way down.
Kurchani goes 9th. Rico across the line he will go. He slots to 12th. Here comes the man who won last time out at Sepang, Jafari Blackwood, making himself a championship contender as a result. Blackwood across the line goes into 11th. Bivona across the line goes into 9th position. Chobot across the line and P15. So at the moment, it is currently a Uni Virtuosi 1-2.
And good job from Bence Valdinger, only managed to the 1 minute 19s. He got this lap down under 80 seconds, so that's good for him, of course, but it's early on in the session. There are 4, maybe even 5 runs, so anything can happen. Tsunami already back in the pits. But Valdinger, he has already taken pole this season, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just trying to remember how many poles he has taken.
Oh, the championship.
He's been on pole twice.
Yes, he has. It was at Spain where he obviously won, and of course the other one being at Austria.
Yep, so he'll be looking for his 3rd pole of the season, and first pole in a while, might I add. He will leak a loss on the number of poles if he holds on to this pole, of course.
Indeed so, and let's not forget some of these drivers, of course, trying to fight for top class seats. One of them, of course, being, as we saw in the pilot episode, Bence Valdinger, linked with Alfa Romeo. You've obviously got Aaron Curtis linked with Aston Martin. And also a few of them as well that could creep up as well. So these last few races are really going to count if some of them want to get into the top class.
Absolutely right. We've got this race at Fuji. We've got the next race, the last voted track, which we do not know it just yet. We will let you know tomorrow after the race, of course. And then the traditional finale at Brazil. As we got a little bit of a traffic jam here, Chobot and the Prima in front of him have come to a halt, as has that Dams over there.
And obviously, you say traditional finale at Brazil. It could possibly be the last time the finale for F2 will be in Brazil.
Oh, Chobot's had a little bit of a lockup.
I think it's because he made contact with somebody, in fact. But as I was saying, obviously, Brazil, of course, is not going to be on the top class calendar next season. Now, does that mean it won't be the last race for F2? We don't know, of course. I mean, it could be back as a voted track. You never know. But that kind of depends on what the F2 calendar looks like next season. But who knows, really? This could be the last time that Interlagos plays host to the final race for F2.
It would be sad indeed, but let's not forget the wildcard race is still a thing. It's going to be a thing next season as well, I believe. Tonome is back out of the track once again for first. And his qualifying form has been especially good in the last couple of races. Ever since Silverstone, He's pretty much been very, very quick when it comes to one lap pace. And let's see what he's got right now. He's in P5, so I think he's really finding his feet in qualifying now at this moment in time, the Carlin man. I think he's finally getting to grips with the machinery.
Yep, and if I'm not mistaken, he missed out on pole in Silverstone. I think he ended up second in that race, but obviously he got pole the following race at Belgium, and then of course recently got a pole at Monza. And who knows? But so far he's not been able to convert them into victories. So it'd be quite poetic if he gets his first victory of the season here at his home race.
He has, of course, taken a win before. He took away the GP2 last season at Brno, which was a voted track, of course, as was this season. So let's see if he can take his first win of the Formula 2 era. But nevertheless, he'll begin a lap, and as per tradition, the second flying lap. Joe, wanna do it?
Sure thing. So, Synonym now then is about to start his second flying lap very soon now then, as we're going to have a very interesting nose cam for this lap. Normally you see these on Gran Turismo videos, but obviously not on this occasion. I mean, obviously Gran
A little
Turismo
bit of
does come from
traffic.
Japan, so bit of nostalgia there, as well, he's got a bit of a gap too. I think that is Arnold in front, but I would not be surprised if he gets held up during the lap. He's just got out of turn 2, approaching now the Coca-Cola call. I'd imagine these guys are going to take it a lot quicker than what the Formula E drivers could, and is Synonym going to try and go all the way around the outside of Arnold like we saw with Formula E a little bit earlier on? I don't think he is, and I think he's going to get held up as a result. It would turn to the inside, but he's not close enough, and he was up on his personal best in the first sector, but like I said earlier, I would not be surprised if that ends up going down the bin, although he is getting some slipstream from Arnold heading down towards this bus-stop chicane. And is he going to pass Arnold into the chicane? Well, it was very close.
He's going to make contact with him there, actually.
I don't think there was. I think he might have just avoided it. I think it might have just been the physics there. But I think this is not going to... This is probably going to affect his middle sector, I should say. Let's have a look. And yeah, he's now down on his personal best by 47 thousandths of a second.
That's not much. Could get a big toe there on the back straight.
Potentially, let's see, as Synonym rounds the Panasonic corner now then, as he now makes his way onto the straight, as getting some nice slipstream from Arnold in front. I think this will definitely affect Arnold when he starts his lap. But Synonym now then, how much of this slipstream has helped him? Across the line, and he goes into third position. That slipstream definitely benefited him.
He found 2/10 there, impressive, as now Arnold will try to re-overtake him. But turns out the traffic wasn't that bad after all, as Blake Moore improves to go away fastest. Darbosh doesn't improve. We have a reigning champion, Aaron Curtis. Can he improve as he continues to search for that so elusive first win? Luca Farina does improve, 18 fastest. Nguyen stays in last even with that improvement. Adam Chobot is starting a lap up next as we got 20 minutes to go. Chobot begins his lap, then his Graf is finishing a lap. He is on an improvement right now, but stays in 21st despite improving. Henry Watzel doesn't improve. Neither does the Pulsar Benz Wallinger, but here we have Jonatas Martins. Man second in the championship, goes into the top 10. As up next is Ruslan Pratsiuk. What can the Russian driver do as he crosses the line? He goes to the top 4, gets himself out the second row. Good effort there. Gabriel Rico next to cross the line. He's on an improvement also. And he goes 14 fastest, as just Felix Suto doesn't improve, 6/10 down, I believe. Joe China doesn't improve either. Gabriel Rico did improve, of course. Here we have Gabriel Quintino, who doesn't improve either, 7/10 down. Here we have Rose Hansen. Hansen is also down. Tobias Kress is also down. Arnold over second down, of course, after being impeded. Oscar improves to go 13 fastest. And who else is left on the run? Here we have Blackwood. What is the Jamaican driver going to do as he crosses the line? He is not going to improve on that one. And we have Chobot as well on the lap. He is on an improvement, Joe, so let's see if he can climb a few positions there.
Well, he is currently 17th at the moment, is the Williams test driver, so let's see what the Slovakian can do now then. Onto the pit straight, and can he get above 17th across the line? And no, he can't. He improves on his time, but not on position.
He's the Williams test driver. Actually, I completely missed that.
Oh, he is. There's actually Williams branding on the car, hence...
Oh, yeah, right.
So,
yeah, fair enough. Just Felix Suto is coming into the pits meanwhile, as I'm not sure who stayed in the pits this time around, actually. But doesn't really matter too much. As interesting shots there. Then his Graf being wheeled back into the garage. And Chobot still in 17th fastest, not looking so good for him right now.
definitely not. And but I must say, props to you getting up into fourth place. I've been wondering where this pace has gone from him ever since. Down in 12th in the championship. I mean, he has scored points on most occasions this season, but it just feels like we've not seen what Proxy has been. What we know he's capable of this season. He's just faded into the background. It seems throughout this season.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget, this man led the championship after round 2, and now, my goodness, I can't believe he's that far down, honestly. We thought he was going to be a championship contender, but ever since he had that horrid weekend in Spain, things just kept going bad for him. Sure, he got some points finishes, but they were low points finishes, and he got on the podium in the first 2 races. We thought he was going to be one of front runners, but turns out we were very, very wrong.
I think Bavona has just gone out onto the track for Prema, and I think that I saw another car trying to go out of the pit lane, but I think Bavona has just gone out onto the racetrack, and yes, he was. I am correct on that.
Since we were talking about Prozio kind of fading earlier, could we say the same about Bavona? Of course, he led the championship as well, and he looked very, very strong with 2 podiums the first 3 races and a pole position to boot, but hasn't really scored a lot since then. He's down in 7th place in the standings, and if he wants to take this title and make it 2 titles in a row, after he won the Formula E title last season, of course, I think it's going to be a little bit of a reach.
Yeah, he's quite far down, isn't he? He's 45 points behind Samet Oskin, so he could, in fact, I think, be out of the title fight this week if he has a very poor result and Oskin has a very good result. But of course, it'll be interesting to see how this goes. Of course, I mean Bavona. I mean there was a lot of hype surrounding him coming into F2, given the dominant season he had in Formula E last season, and it did look like he was going to carry on because he obviously had a very strong start to the season. But yeah, he just seems to have struggled recently.
Yeah, it's difficult to explain what exactly is happening on with Prema, but they've still got 3 races in which they can sort things out, so I think they're going to try their best to do just that. As Bavona might be giving a little bit of thought to his teammate Harman Gwen when he sets his. Let's see what he can do in the first sector. It goes through 100R. R, of course, referring to the radius of the corner in degrees. And he is up massively to almost 2.5 tenths in the first sector. So this, I think Prema are finally starting to find something. And Bavona might be able to get solid improvement. Who knows really, we'll see. As approaching the Dunlop corner, as Joe likes to refer to it, the bus stop chicane, Bavona clipping the curb and then flicking it in through the right here. We're going to see his middle sector time very, very shortly. As in towards turns 13 and 14, the double left-hander, he is once again up, but just under 3 tenths down on Waldinger, so this is not going to be a pole time. In towards Panasonic, and on the exit, gets a decent exit there, good acceleration, and Agathon Bavona, I'm sure he will improve, but how much will he improve? Currently in P10, can he go any better than that? Let's see where he places himself as Bavona crosses the line. Goes 5th, fastest, good effort. We have Darabosh up next to cross the line. Currently not an improvement. He doesn't improve. Aaron Curtis, reigning champion. Can he get an improvement here? I don't think so, and the answer is no. Sonoma and Moore, the 2 Carlin teammates, were side by side, kinda ruining each other's laps there. Martins didn't improve either, as Oskan stayed in the pits this time around, so that'll be something to note. Meanwhile, Protsyuk is 3 tenths down on his personal best, so I do not see him improving here.
No, I think he will probably end up staying in 4th unless a miracle happens in the last sector, but unfortunately there's nobody in front of him to slipstream, so yeah, I think this is probably going to end up just being a non-improvement for Ruslan Protsyuk because he's going to cross the line now then, and 4 tenths off on his personal best as a result, and stays in 4th for the time being. Suto, same story for him, no improvement at the moment, and stays in 6th place. Valdinger got a little bit of slipstream, but stays on a 119.989. Watson, no improvement. Arnold across the line, no improvement for him, stays in 7th. And he goes 4th, so a big improvement
Same
there for him.
Same time as Sonome there.
Graph improves, but stays 21st. It's 4-5 for the MP Motorsports. Nguyen's on a good lap, probably got the slipstream from Pavona and goes 11th as a result.
Yeah, good effort there. Gabriel Rico is next, and he's not improving at the moment. Let's see as the Brazilian crosses the line. Is it an improvement? No, it's not. Next up, who have we got? We've got Rose Henson. Can she get that improvement across the line? Through sector 3 we go. No.
No
China
improvement
is
there.
next. He's on an improvement. And he gets fifth fastest.
Yeah, Ko Chan is another guy who's been quite impressive in qualifying recently, as Chobot doesn't improve, and yeah, he seems to have turned a corner recently with his qualifying.
As has his teammate Jafari Blackwood, though not right now I would say, because he's down in 18th at the minute.
He just made a mistake there as well, whilst at the same time getting compromised by Valdinger.
Yeah. Fuji has a lot of fast corners. You don't want to be impeding in those. And you lose some downforce, which is crucial, because these cars don't have a lot of downforce to begin with. So yeah, Blackwood understeering there, obviously ruining his lap. He's not going to improve, he's going to stay 18th. And he has 12 minutes in which he can improve on that position.
Though on the subject of those two going side by side, it is encouraging to see that we're not seeing any incidents of that chicane. So yeah, maybe a version for Yuri to consider when World Champ Car come here in a couple of weeks' time.
Could be, yeah. I just hope that if I happen to remain in Formula E next year, I really hope it gets fixed, because my goodness, I was taken out of the race at an incident there, but nevertheless, enough talking about me. Blackwood is coming into the pits, so it's not like this lap mattered anyway.
Well, on the topic of that, anyway, that's if Fuji does come back, because of course there has been some rumours, and I think even Yuri mentioned it on the Discord as well, that there is a chance that both the World Champ Car and Formula E calendars next season could be shortened to what it is currently, just to try and avoid them clashing, and also to help to make his time schedule a bit flexible. So we'll see if Fuji returns next season for Formula E, but if it does, then hopefully it uses this version.
Yeah, the 2007 version. I really like the branding on the side of the track, but most importantly, I like the texture of the grass, and I like how the AI behave around here.
Yes, it seems they're very well behaved around here, and
that pit lane entry though is a little bit interesting. It's a rapid change of direction. Hopefully nothing happens there in the race.
Hopefully not, but you never know. Stranger things have happened in GP4, but I would imagine it'd be a rare occasion, I'd think. A bit similar with Sepang, really. But anyway, whilst we were talking...
Protsiuk, Sinonome, and Oskan are out on track. Bavona is actually just about ready to begin a lap. Here we go.
I was just about to say that. He was about to start a lap. But anyway, let's see. Is there any traffic by the time he gets there? This time, no. He's going to have, like previously, a clear track in front of him as he makes his way through into the first corner, and then into turn 2 he goes. A kind of similar profile to what the Hungarian turn 1 is, but slightly different on the exit. Through Coca-Cola he goes, nearly flat out through there, but not quite. This is near flat out though. You do have to lift in the middle of it. This is the 100R, as he is down on his personal best in the first sector by a tenth, and also a tenth down on Valdinger in the first sector. He just came out of the very creative corner name called Hairpin, through turn 7, and then down towards the 300R before heading down towards the Dunlop chicane, as he looks like he's going to have a lock up here, as I just saw him twitch a bit, and well, that lap's gone in the bin, because he had to do a correction halfway as he was going around the first part of the Dunlop.
I don't think he's lost a lot of time, but he'll still be down.
Yeah, and let's see that just for clarity, and yeah, down by quite a bit. In fact, I think that's a 6/10 in the middle sector, so no improvement there for Bavona, as the home favourite Hento Sinonome has now just started his lap.
No traffic for him this time, so let's see what he can get done. As Auto Daiichi has had a good run, and I think Hungaroring's turn 1 is actually a little bit tired now that we're on the topic of that. And either way, in towards 100R goes the home favourite. Through the first sector, is he up? No, he's not, by 5/1000ths of a second. They could get another improvement. Don't forget he was impeded in S2 on his best lap. He also benefited in Sector 3 with that massive tow. 2/10ths worth from that slipstream alone. As Oskan might be getting that tow, but he's getting very, very much impeded by that Trident, who is trying to overtake here into the chicane. He fails. I think that was Hansen, because I saw the US flag flashing there. As now
and also Hansen has a Vettel helmet as well, so...
Oh yeah. Sinome is 200s down, but he's not getting any tow this time around, so I don't think this will be an improvement. His best lap had tow, this lap will not, so the Japanese driver, I think he will remain third.
Let's see. He might pull a miracle off in the last sector, but given there's a lack of slipstream here for him, I think it's going to be highly doubtful. So anyway, Senonome across the line, and he's currently in third, and he stays third for the time being. Oskin getting some slipstream from Henson, but it's not going to be enough to improve. Here is
We
Luca
have Luca
Farina, who is
Farina.
up on his personal best. The Italian driver currently down on the back row of the grid at the moment. Can he get off the back row? Let's see. And he can, but only up into 17th position. Durabush Daniel stays in 10th for the moment, still in the cusp of the top 10 at the moment, after what has so far been a disastrous season for the Hungarian driver, as Blake Moore is currently not on an improvement, and he's currently in 13th position at this stage, and stays 13th as a result.
Yep, Jonas Martins doesn't improve there. Aaron Curtis, what about him? He can improve either. Neither can just Frederick Suto, as a matter of fact. Quintino is starting a lap, as is Arnold. Blackwood is also starting a lap. Benz Wallinger is 6 tenths down, so the Brazilian pulsator will definitely not improve on this lap. We got Gabriel Rico finishing up a lap as well behind, or perhaps he's starting one, I'm not quite sure. But Wallinger,
Anyway,
just to get confirmation that he doesn't improve. There we go.
as Dennis Graff is on an improvement, but stays in 22nd. He's
That was
still over a
Graf, not
second off.
Rico. Wen is up into 9th. It was 8th, but Watson went into 8th instead. As here Hansen is not getting any... I mean, got a little bit of toe, but let's see if she can get that improvement across the line. No.
As Rico does improve to go up into 13th position. So both Campos there improving on their laps. Adam Chobot coming down the straight. He's not on an improvement. He's currently in, where is he? He's down in 20th, and he stays 20th for the time being. So, yeah,
I think
not the best of
Chobot
qualifying.
has struggled a little bit this season. Last season he was up in title contention all the way out until the last race. But now he's changed teams and it didn't really benefit him. His former team is leading both championships and he's struggling in the VAR.
Quintino crosses the line, no improvement. He stays in second, still a 1-2 for Uni Virtuosi. Arnold doesn't improve here. I think Blackwood also is on a lap behind as well. There he is, but he's not up on his personal best either. The Jamaican driver crosses the line. He's currently down in 19th position. The man who won last time out at Sepang, and he stays in 19th position. Just want to point out as well that Senonome and Cress have both set identical times, but of course Senonome is ahead because he set that time first.
Yep, that'll be very good for him. Is that Benz Wallinger having a pit lane glitch, or is that Tobias Kress?
I think it's Cress. He looks like he's had a bit of an issue here. And,
what's he doing? He's pushing himself into the pit wall.
I think he's stuck from the looks of it. His mechanics are trying to drag him out, but it seems like he's stuck on that wall. So this could be qualifying over for Cress if the team can't dislodge, or if Flo can't use any of his tools to try and dislodge him, like he did back at Silverstone, I believe. I think was it last year or the season or this season. I can't 100% remember off the top of my head. I think he's trying to dislodge as well because he's just paused the game.
Well, I think we're going to need a little bit of intervention from Magic Alonso to put that car back in the garage.
Yeah. But, I think Flo's actually close to stream for now to try and see if he can dislodge it. So just bear with, guys, and try to see if Flo can try and fix this issue for the moment.
Flo said, meanwhile, the pit entry, it's a bit like the Bahrain pit entry. Oh god, so I'm gonna get taken out there as well if I ever race on the 2007 version of Fuji. If you know, I'm referencing 2015 race. I got taken out in the pits on the pit lane entry by David Greenwood, so that was a little bit fun.
Okay, so Flo's going to try something. He's just updated us right now. If it doesn't work, then he'll just have to leave Crest there. So yeah, he's just trying something, but it will come back on your screen quite soon. So don't think the game has crashed because it hasn't. I thought I'd just mention that.
Yeah, a little bit of a delay, but it won't be long, we promise.
So yeah, so obviously at the moment, for anybody who's just joined us, it is currently a Uni Virtuosi 1-2 at the moment, ahead of Synonome, who was actually tied, in fact, as we were talking about Cress. He was actually tied with Synonome on that lap time, but of course Synonome was ahead because, of course, he set that time first. And so Obviously, so far, looking very good for Univirtuosi, who, safe to say, ever since they rebranded, they've been a force to be reckoned with.
They were a force at Russian time as well, but clearly they're still carrying on strong. And they're fourth in the standings right now. Of course, they've got a win with both drivers, so something not many teams can be proud about. But yeah, Virtuosi definitely aren't bad. They're only, 1 point behind Charouz, so with 3 races to go, they could still get themselves up into second, and I think they'll be very delighted with that. Their drivers have been have had some ups and downs, and particularly in the last 2 races, the team didn't score anything. But I think Virtuosi, I think they can be satisfied with their season so far.
Yeah, indeed. I thought for a minute Flo was back on the game there, but it was clearly my eyes deceiving me. Oh no, he is back into the game. Okay, so we should get the stream back on our end quite soon. Because there we go. So let's see if this has worked, and if not, we'll have to leave Chris where he is.
Yep, and time to get this session back underway.
So anyway, so he's still there for the moment. Obviously, I think Flo had to go out of the game and then load up another program just to make this work. So anyway, let's. We are going to unpause or have we got to do it like this? Let's see. So
He's still stuck.
let's see if he, in fact, is he getting anywhere? He's trying to. I think Flo's trying to do something in the background to try and dislodge it from the pit wall.
At
But
least the cars can go through.
yeah, that's important. I don't think that was ever a doubt. Just trying to have a look. It is. I think is it slightly moving? I don't know if it's my eyes deceiving me there.
Yeah, I
But
still think.
a little bit. As Moore's now trying to get around it as well. Which he should
This
be
is a
able
little
to.
bit of a problem to people trying to go through at the same time.
Yeah, as he's been able to get Chris out. As he is trying his best to try and dislodge Chris here, but it seems like he's not playing ball.
That
at
is
the moment.
one very strong marshal. Not marshal, mechanic.
Yes, it is. He's trying everything to push that car out of the wall, which has clearly been lodged in. As can he get it going? I think Flo's trying to get it moved. I mean, let's not forget Silverstone. He managed to dislodge something at one of the cars early on. So
Wasn't that Galloway a couple of scenes ago?
Can't remember, but he is
I
moving
remember he
slightly
was
to the
there
left,
for
as you
an
can
entire
see.
season.
It's slightly moving to the left, so it seems to be doing something. And there you go. There you go. Got it fixed. That's that problem out of
About
the way
time,
with.
finally. We'll have time to go out on track again. Took a while, but we're ready to get the show back underway. We haven't missed anyone finishing their flyers, but we did have Luca Farina, I think, starting a flying lap. Joe China is on a flying lap as well.
So let's see what his first sector is going to look like then compared to his personal best and 1/10 down in the first sector.
Yeah, sector 1 is pretty short, so if you're down there, not exactly a good look, but yeah, we'll see about the middle sector, clearly where most of the time is gained or lost on this racetrack. Then towards Dunlop goes Joe Chinat. He is most famously known for winning that amazing 2019 Indy 500, of course, but hasn't really won anything else. As Joe Chinat in the middle sector, is he up? He actually gained a little bit compared to his. He gained compared to his best on the previous sector, but still down on his overall personal best. As we got some other drivers starting laps. Will Kress be going out in time? I'm not quite sure. But Farina.
Chaney about to finish his lap very soon. Yes.
Let's see if he can find an improvement in sector 3 and maybe get himself onto the second row of the grid. No, he can't.
I'm not able to improve there as that looked like Valdinger's just started the lap. Same with Oscar. As there is Blackwood who's just come out onto the racetrack. As Farina's got the checkered flag next to his name, so his session.
He's completed 5 runs.
As, ironically, Kress is the one that's getting left behind on this occasion. So That's a bit of a coincidence.
A little sad then. So it was the session over for him either way.
Moore has gone up into 13th, as these will be the final laps for some of these guys. Some of them doesn't improve. He stays in third position, and of course, something to bear in mind in case the vanilla game tries to swap both Sinanome and Cress around. Something to remember when reading out the results.
Yes, that's absolutely. Ruslan Protiuk on his final flyer. Let's see if he can improve in sector 3 here. Can he? The answer is no. He is way down.
As Graf now then crosses the line, he's not on an improvement and he stays in last. So a qualifying to forget for Dennis Graf. Suto crosses the line, no improvement, he stays where he is. Gabriel Rico, no improvement for him. Eva Keochani going back into the pits. So what's
Who is
everybody
next
else
to finish the lap? Is that Arnold?
Arnold's just about to start a lap.
Good for him, as Ben Wallinger. He's been on pole ever since his first set of lap, really, and he doesn't improve on this lap. But he'll be hoping his original effort was good enough. Martins doesn't improve. He'll be starting in only P15 or worse. But he is just one place in front of his teammate Oskan and rival Oskan, so that's interesting. As Nguyen doesn't improve either. Hansen does go up into 6th place. Great effort. Sonoma is coming into the pits. Here we have Chobot currently down in 21st. And let's see if he can do any better than that.
He's currently up on his personal best. Can he go any higher across the line? And he can, but only up into 18th position.
Just behind the high techs. As who else is on a lap there?
Arnold.
Alexander Arnold is on a lap. Let's see if he can find some time in the middle sector because he was down in S1. Here he goes through the double left-hander. No, he's also quite off the pace. So that leaves just Oskan and Blackwood left to finish as the checkered flag is out. I don't expect Alexander Arnold to improve. And if neither he nor the other drivers can get an improvement, it means Ben Wallinger will take his third pole position of the season, and he'll be the only driver in the 1 minute 19s. Arnold does not improve. We're waiting on the last two drivers. Here we have Blackwood. Can the Jamaican driver improve or will he start 21st? He improves, but he starts 21st for tomorrow. And Oskan came into the pits, so actually the session is done. The session is done, and for the first time...
This has come out just for a mileage run, it seems, but it's not going to matter anyway. So, yeah, Bence Valdinga on pole for the third time this season.
He'll be very happy with that. 4 points to his account. And Wallinger once again on pole. First pole position since Austria. Let's see if he can convert like he did in Spain. So
pole
then...
it's actually now put him above Suto in the championship, so he's now up to 4th, is Valdinga.
He wants, of course, to, he still has a shot at the title. It may be a little slim, but with these 4 points, he can reignite it. And if he can win tomorrow and score some big points, it could help him a lot because Martins, 16th, Oskan, 17th, Blackwood, 21st. The people in front of him if it stays as is, they're not going to score. And if he wins tomorrow, he can gain a lot on the leaders. That's what I'm saying. Kress is going to start the lap. That will not count because checkered flag is already out. So there we go. That's the end of the session.
That's that, and we should be heading back to the menu screen quite soon because that will be the session done with, as Kress has just done what we think is a mileage run there. As
he's had a couple of adventures today, Kress, but I don't think he'll be too dissatisfied given that he'll be starting 4th tomorrow.
Yep, but here we are then. Here is the grid.
Bence Wallinger on pole position for the 3rd time this season. Only driver to go under the 1 minute 20s. Great lap. Teammate Gabriel Quintino lines up 2nd on the grid with Hento Sonome taking 3rd place on his home track. Brilliant effort. Once again, shining in qualifying. Tobias Kress has the exact same time after being having some pit lane issues, let's call him that. Feng Chao China once again qualifying well with P5, Ross Hansen P6, Ruslan Protiuk P7 in front of Agatino Bivona, then it is Henry Watson and Huang Nguyen in P10, and in P11 to round off the first half of the grid. Who is it? It is just Ferg Suto. You can do the second half, of course, Joe.
Arnold starts in top, so it's an Olsharu 6th row on the grid. Then it is Durabush Daniel in 13th with Blakemore 14th. Gabriel Rico is in 15th, with Johannes Martins in 16th, ahead of teammate Samuel Oskin in 17th. A lot of work to do for the high-techs tomorrow, with Adam Chobart in 18th, Aaron Curtis all the way down in 19th, a lot of work to do for him, with Luca Farina in 20th, Jafari Blackwood, a lot of work to do for him for the back row in 21st, and Dennis Graff, the only driver over a second off, in 22nd and last.
I think this is a real open goal for anybody not named Martins, Oskan, or Blackwood to gain big points in the championship. We're in the last few races, and like it is Parachki did in 2017, you can perform a late charge, and a late charge might be enough to take you to the title if you have the right amount of luck. So who knows, really? Could Ben Wallinger have such a late charge? We'll have to wait and see, but what we know for sure is that tomorrow's Japanese Grand Prix will be starting with him on pole position. What a great session he's had. But that's been it from us today. We'll be seeing you again tomorrow, of course, for the Japanese Grand Prix here in Oyama at Fuji Speedway, and hopefully with Joe as well. I'll be making tomorrow, so for the first time in 3 races, I can finally make it. Thank goodness. And we will also see you for the United States Grand Prix practice and qualifying in team news, and take care.
See ya.